Hi, everybody. It's Dana Sanders, author of A Lake of Shadow and the prequel Shadow Beginnings. Also, half of the duo of Dana and Dad, which I do on my YouTube channel at Dana Sanders Writes. And I am also doing a series called Getting to Know, where I interview other authors and other members of the writing community. So today I have one of my queens, Jacquelin Thomas. We were supposed to talk back in May, but I had some technical issues, so we're on round two. And so, welcome back.
Hey, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're always welcome. Always welcome. So, my first question to you is I guess a lot of other people would like to know, what has your publishing journey been like up to this point?
It's been good. I mean, I can't complain. I was able to write that first book and sell it 19 weeks later, basically after submission. I did get 5 rejections. Some, there are many that will say, "Oh, I got 20, I got 30." I did receive 5 rejections, and they were painful enough. I think, I probably couldn't have handled 20 or 30, but for the most part, it was pretty smooth. I mean, every career, everything you do is going to have those ups and downs. And of course, I did have some bumps along the way, but overall, it's been a great experience. In fact, sometimes I still pinch myself and like, wow, you're published, because I meet so many writers who are still on that journey trying to get published. And so I'm very grateful, and I don't take it for granted, you know.
Right. Well, I know becoming a full-time author is a privilege, so that so many people would want to do or be able to do.
Yes.
And so, with your 27 years of experience, what do you say? Are you a pantser or a plotter?
I am a plotter because I have to, before I even sit down to write the story, I really need to know where it's going. I can't just, you know, write, because I will write myself into a corner. I'm super organized. I'm a personality. And so for me, I have to have that outline.
Mhm.
So I'm definitely a plotter.
Right. So am I. I just can't go willy-nilly. I guess maybe it's kind of the control freak and
Yeah, because
me
we're
in a little bit.
you and I both are control freaks, and so, I hate that word freak, but we like to be in control.
Yeah.
We bought into that lie that we actually can control something, and so
Hmm.
with the writing is something we can control. That's the one thing that we can control. So, yes, we're plotters, and I think that you do an excellent job of plotting. I love, with the Lakers shadow, the twists and turns that you took me on and everything, so
Oh, those were hard one, but thank you. I thank you. I will take that. Same thing here with my other work in progress. I'm trying to manage those twists and turns. So,
trust the process and just go with it.
hmm well, so for all of your years of experience and almost 100 books under your belt, I'm trying to be like you when I grow up. You and my other queen, Deborah Fletcher
Oh,
Mello.
yes. Now she is phenomenal. When you talk about a phenomenal writer,
Hmm.
that woman right there can write. And
Yep.
I love it. I love it. I remember, when she, with her first book, and I'm like, wow, she's so incredible. And to just see her growth and to see where she is now, I'm so proud of her. But she's a phenomenal writing machine.
Yeah. I mean, I swear, given, life interferes and she still manages to put
Yes.
out 1,000 books a year.
Yes, because she does a great job. But it just goes to show how writing is therapeutic,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah, it can be. I know I've been in some spots where, or times when I've been writing something and I've been upset, or it's like I should kill this character off, make me feel better. So
I'll share
Um,
a secret with you. When I was raising my daughters, and this probably makes people think, "Oh, she's a bad mom," but
uh,
I had this book, and it was called Mother. And when I would get mad at my daughters, I would kill them in this book
oh,
story. I would, because
oh,
those girls in that book were so ungrateful and so, they didn't, they didn't stay dead, but it was just different
hmm
ways. And that's how I had to write through that process. But all in all, the whole thing of it was mother loves you, mom loves you no matter what. But sometimes she just
hmm
don't like you.
Yeah, that goes with any relationship. You can love the person, but just not like them on any given day. So,
Exactly.
but at least, yeah, you were doing it in the books. It wasn't
Oh,
real life. So
yeah.
that
I love
if
my
you do it in your
daughters.
imagination,
Yes, I
that
love
doesn't go anywhere.
I don't want anything to happen to them, but it
Right.
was just a way to just get that urge out so you don't say anything. Because for one thing, we can say some things and then we try to apologize, but you can't, they can't unhear it, and
Right.
you can't unsay it. So it was better for
Mhm.
me to put it in the book and password protect it so that they would never ever see it, you know, because it was venting, it was
Mhm.
venting. It was a place for me to vent. And even with my relationship with my mom, because sometimes I wrote about her too, you know.
Mhm. Well, hey, that's safe, and nobody gets hurt. So
Exactly.
vent on.
Venting,
Yeah.
but in the end, and that's the one thing I would tell you, even though I would start off angry, by the time I got to the end of that chapter, because I always did in like little chapters, it was, but I love you,
Mhm.
and I know you're not perfect, you know, and
Right.
yes, I'm still upset with you, but I know that you love me, things like that.
Mhm.
So I just write through that anger.
Yeah, I find that it has helped me when I've been down or just not in a good place, and
Yeah.
I would just write a little bit, and the character said something I wanted to say in the way I wanted it to be said, and
Isn't it wonderful when you can
so
do that?
yes, yeah, most definitely. So
Yes.
writing is therapeutic. So right
Yes.
on, Deborah. Right on, Miss Deborah. Write
Yeah.
those 1,000 books a year.
Oh, honey, yes. Yes, because, I know I've written, several books a year because I needed to.
Mhm.
I needed to, just process some things, and I was able to kind of do it through my stories.
Yeah, understandable. So yeah, I get that. And so I'm gonna ask, what's your advice for any aspiring authors that you may want to share?
I would say never give up because that's the biggest thing. This industry has changed from when I got published in 97.
Hmm.
And so, boy, that sounds like it was so long ago. Um,
Yeah.
you know, and I've watched the industry kind of change and evolve with, and so people now, agents and editors are really, really picky. Um, and they're looking for books that they know that they can sell. Um, I would venture to say some editors have maybe gotten a little lazy and they want that easy sell, you know,
uh,
um,
hmm
you know, in my opinion, and this is strictly my opinion, and
hmm
against any editor or agent, but to me, back when I started, I was my agent's first client. She was brand new. So we took a chance with each other. And we
Right.
grew together because I'm still with the night agency even
Yeah.
now. There was a period when I left, but I went back because they were wonderful to me. They were good, and she believed in me. She wasn't just looking for an instant sale. You see what I'm saying? She took
Right. And they say agent author relationship is like a marriage, and you really need to find someone that you really get along with,
Yes.
and
Yes.
so.
Yes. And even though my agent, I'm not with my original agent, but I'm with her sister. So
Hmm.
it's still in the family. You
Okay.
know, it's still in the family. But even so, like I said, I got to know everybody there because I was there from the very beginning, you know. And
Hmm.
so I want I want authors today. My advice would be to try to find that perfect fit. Just like you're trying to find your perfect mate, try to find that perfect fit. And that may mean taking your time. Um, it may mean it may take you 4 or 5 or 6 agents. You know, um, don't be discouraged. You know, the process, you and I have talked a lot, and I've always told you not to give up because you are an incredible writer as well. I love that you can paint pictures with your words. Um, we have to
Thank
find
you, my queen.
we have to find that perfect fit. And sometimes it takes a while. And I don't take that lightly. I do not take that lightly. Um, and so my advice would be to really not give up. The only way not to get published is to give up. And I don't know that if I hadn't sold my book when I did, because again, it went from going to a writer's conference, meeting an editor, pitching, and her asking to see the manuscript. 19 weeks later, she bought it. If that had not happened, I don't know. I don't know what I can't honestly tell you. I wouldn't have quit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but on this side of it, it may sound easy for me to say don't quit, but I honestly believe you have so many options out there because back when I started, it was frowned upon to be independently published, to be self-published.
Oh
You
yeah, like in Hollywood, if you were a movie star, you did not go to TV, and if you were a TV star, you did not go to movies. And now
Exactly.
they cross.
Right
Yes.
now they cross, and now
Hmm.
within the book industry they cross, and
Hmm.
we have independent authors who are making more money than published authors. Yes, and see, to
Wow.
me, again, that's their fortitude. That is they have that ability. I struggle with shyness. I don't like social media. I am uncomfortable.
Me.
I think we have to push ourselves, and we've talked about
Mhm.
this too, where you
Yes.
have to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. Again, that's easy to say. It's easier said than done.
Mm. Yes,
I'm
us introverts are,
right,
special kind of characters.
right. But you have some of these girls that are out here, and men and women, and I shouldn't just say girls, but men and women
Mhm.
who are out here. They know how to market their books. They
Yeah.
know, I mean, and like us, they're doing 5 and 6 figures,
Hmm. Wow.
and I'm like, wow, if only,
If
but
only, yeah.
yeah, but cut ourselves short because what I believe is that learn.
Mhm.
Learn how to do what they do, study them, learn how to do what they do, take classes on marketing. Again, there are adult education classes that you can take on promotion, and at least I'm pretty sure there is, but there are classes. So we have to kind of be willing to learn how to do
Mhm.
those things that we're not comfortable with. So I still think we are still we have an element of control in
Mhm.
our careers. And so I would say again, if you are not comfortable in front of, like, I applaud you for doing this because we talked to you about doing YouTube for a long
Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
And for you to go on and do it, I think is wonderful. I still won't do it. So I'm the pot calling the kettle black. And I won't even do it. I have a YouTube show. I don't get on camera or anything. So I'm
Hmm.
working through that though. I'm trying to work through that. But
Yeah.
my advice is to do those things that scare you,
Right.
because
Yeah.
what I'm seeing is that's how you make it out here.
Mhm.
You know,
Exactly
don't
right.
give up. Do yourself a favor. Believe in yourself. Believe in your product. What that means is write your book, get your book edited, get a good cover. You know, these are investments. So be willing to invest in yourself.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm looking at doing an updated cover for a leg with shadow. I just don't know what I want to do with it yet. So yeah.
But these things are important. See what's selling. Look at the covers that are out there, and really, but learn how to do these things. I'm learning how to kind of manipulate Canva. I don't know
Mhm.
how to do like these little trailers and things like that. And maybe at some point I'll learn, but I don't know. But invest in yourself, invest in learning how to market yourself, invest in learning how to promote yourself. Those are the things that are important, because I think the other part of that too is if you're confident and you can sell yourself to an agent and to an editor,
Mhm.
that comes in handy.
Right.
You know,
Mhm.
it's not just writing a good book anymore. It's having that markability.
Yeah. Yeah, the old days it used to be just they put it in the bookstores or did your book tour, I guess. You didn't have
Yeah.
to.
And now, more and more we're having to do the work, even as, traditionally published authors, we have to do the work. I don't, they don't send me on book tour.
Right.
You know, they do initial promotions and usually they run 60 to 90 days. Then it's up to me to keep the buzz going.
Mhm.
So, really take time and learn the business.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, inch by inch.
But you know what? You
Mhm.
started and you're doing something. And as long as you're doing something, don't discount it. Count it a victory,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, I mean, actually getting up this StreamYard to do this, I had to practice a few days in advance, and then it was still a little bit of a rush, and I'm going, I don't know what I'm doing. And yeah, so,
Look at you now. Look at you now. So, and it'll get more and more comfortable for you. Um,
mhm,
you know, I thought it was really nice, you and your dad, you know, those are things that are unique. And you will get up your subscribers, but you got to market it too. you know um
mhm,
maybe offer some giveaways when you're doing a promotion about your upcoming episode. Come
mhm,
for a chance to win blah blah blah, a copy of Allegra Shadow,
right,
whatever. You know what I'm saying? So there are different things that you can do, but you're doing it, and that's what's most important. As long as people are moving and doing things, that's how you win. And
mhm,
again, it's not so much about being with a publisher. I like being with a publisher because I don't know how to really do all this stuff myself. You know,
mhm,
I know how to put a book together and all of that. I can typeset, I can do all of that. But what I'm saying is when it comes to the marketing, when it comes to the selling and all
the
of
other
that.
stuff,
But
yeah,
I managed because I've also independently published some books and they've done, pretty decent. So, it's trial and error,
mhm.
you know,
Yeah, it's gotta be, like they say, gotta be like that shark. They just keep moving. They just keep moving. They just keep moving. So,
and that's it. That's
um,
really the
mhm,
key. So that's my advice. And
mhm,
don't feel like if an editor doesn't want it, don't feel like I should just trash this. No, no. Now, what I will say with about that, if you're hearing the same thing from different people, then you need to
mhm,
really look at that. If they're saying, we need to see more showing versus telling, then you need to work on that. So also keep an open mind to constructive feedback to make your
right,
book the best book that it can be. Hire an
mhm,
independent editor, but put it out yourself. If that is what you have to do, because Elian Harris started that way.
mhm. And he became a real success.
Yes, they were giving him 1 million, I think, in advances.
Ooh.
So, yeah, yes. Yes. You
Wow.
see what I'm saying? And he was selling books out the trunk of his car. Kim Roby started that way, and she's New York Times bestselling author.
Hmm.
There is nothing wrong with that.
I think the other key is the ego mind gets in the way a lot.
Mhm.
And so when you're starting out or trying to make your mark and you see others who have been there and they've made it, or someone who
And we
seems like
think
they
it's
just
easy.
started,
We think it's
huh?
easy. We think it's
Right.
easy for them. We think
Hmm.
that it was really, but when you hear their stories, you find out that it wasn't so easy.
Hmm.
They just didn't give up.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I've had bouts of, okay, I'm just gonna toss in the towel, the sink, and everything. I'm so done, and and like my mom says, she said, you just rest, you lay down for a little bit,
Mhm.
but then get back up sometimes.
Yes,
So,
because you are a writer. There's just this thing when we are writers,
mhm.
you can't just quit. It won't let you. The stories keep coming.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
and don't you know that when you are at your lowest, that's when you get some of the best stories?
Sometimes ideas come, laying before I go to sleep, or like, wait, what was that? Yeah. So sometimes they do. Yeah.
Um, so you can't give up. Trust me, I quit every other week. I do. I quit every other week. It's like, "Oh, I'm done," but I'm so happy that, my 96th and 97th book would be out this year, and to be that close to 100, yes. And so, I'm so looking forward to next year, and having that big party celebrating 100 books, God willing, and
God
just
willing.
wow, I can stop now. If this is the end of the road for me, book-wise, I can
Hmm.
stop now because
100 books is no joke.
I set out to do 100 books, you
Yeah.
know? Now, I probably won't quit, I'll be honest with you. I have so many story ideas. I actually have my idea box has 48 ideas, proposals for
Wow.
stories that I have not written. I
Whew.
could I could sell storylines, you know? But you
Yeah.
see what I'm
Wow.
saying? They don't just stop coming, so you just have to the one that you're most passionate about is what you write. One of the books I want to write, that I'm gonna start working on, probably in a month, is my story about King David and brought into modern day. And so I'm really excited about that because I'm taking, the life of King David in the Bible and bringing it into modern day and putting it in the R&B industry.
No, that's a interesting combination. Yeah,
So,
that's
I'm
different.
excited about that. My Jezebel series, with bringing Jezebel into modern day did really well. My Samson, so I look at those stories and I want to tell more of those. I've always wanted to do a modern day adaptation of Ruth, you know, and
Mhm.
so I will probably independently publish those stories because I want to
Mhm.
tell them and I want to
Oh,
tell them my way.
yeah. Do it your way, like Frank Sinatra said, right?
My agent is actually shopping a project out right now. She's shopping a book. So I'm not done yet, but my point is my goal was 100 books.
Yeah, you're just about there.
Yes,
So,
yes. So I'm okay if I just, if that's it with the writing. I would be okay with.
well, I mean, it's like TV. When they reach 100 episodes, they go into syndication and get paid for 20 plus years off residuals. And
If only we got paid
uh,
that way.
yeah, that would be great. But
Yeah,
I think also as writers, I mean, it's not easy to be a creative, whether you're a writer, a painter, a sculptor, whatever it is.
it's hard.
For us, it's a different kind of difficult. And I think from what I've seen, I think it's writers that are seem to be the most disrespected out of all the artists for some reason.
Mhm.
Um, and I don't know if it's because people look at writing, oh, I can just, anybody can write.
I
True, it's not like manual labor.
and I think that's what it is, Dana. I
Yeah.
think that they think it's so easy,
Hmm.
but if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
And doing it well.
Mhm. You know,
Yeah.
it's not easy, not as easy as people think. We
Hmm.
pour our heart and our souls into these books. We live with these people. I think when you finish a book, you grieve a little when the story has come to an end because you live with those characters for so long. You know,
Hmm.
um, we feel what they feel. So, I think it's really disrespectful sometimes the way that writers are treated. And especially, when their books are even adapted into movies, it's kind of like the authors are kind of, oh, that's just the author, you know.
Yeah,
And,
really. Wow.
well, yeah, you're getting paid and you got a job because of the author.
Exactly. Put some respect on that person's name at least.
Be thankful because if they hadn't written this book, but I think people forget because one of my books was adapted into a movie, and one of the actors kind of made me feel that way. Like she was kind of rude.
Really?
Yeah, she was kind of rude, and I'm kind of like, oh, okay.
Hmm. That's not a good look.
No, it wasn't, and she was someone that I really liked as an actress, and since then,
Mhm.
since meeting her, I've lost any. I have no respect. No, and like when I see her,
Well, she didn't show respect for you,
right.
so
So I
yeah.
don't wanna watch anything she's on, you know,
Hmm.
I don't when I see her, I don't get excited or whatever, like, whatever, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff on Twitter and years, over the years, how some authors have said, yeah, this person, we're saying, well, why can't you writers just let us have the books for free? You don't ask for music for free, you don't ask for movies for free, but you want writers to give their hard-earned
I've had
artwork
that
away
with
for free.
family too,
Hmm.
you know, where they want a free book instead of, "Okay, this is how I make money."
Hmm.
And it's not like my books cost a whole lot of money, because with Harlequin, mass market. So what there may be $6 now, but when I started, they were like 4.99.
I remember those days.
And so it's a little disheartening when you don't have that support. Now one side of my family, they bought cases to support
Mm-hmm.
me, and gave them to different people. But on the other side, it's like, well, I didn't get a book. Can you send me a book? And you want to go, can you buy it? How about that?
Right.
And I think about them like if they had a business, you wouldn't want me coming saying, "Oh, are you going to do my hair for free? Or are you going to take my pictures, for free?"
Mm-hmm.
They talk about, "Oh, you get the
That
family,
would be a no.
you know, get the family discount, but you still going to pay something."
Something, right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I can
right.
give you a family discount, 10 cents off.
Didn't say how much the discount had to be, just ask for a discount.
But you know what I'm saying? So we have
Right.
to deal with a lot of stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we have to
Mm-hmm.
deal with a lot of stuff as writers, but in the grand scheme of things, no matter what industry you're in, if you talk to singers, musicians, they've all got stories to tell
Oh
that
yeah.
sometimes were not so good. So it's everywhere, and they felt disrespected,
I'm
at
sure they were. I'm sure they were. And then, I've heard stories about the music business, and
right.
I call what we suffer, the bad experiences we have, and whether it's writing, music, Hollywood, or whatever, uh, I call those war stories.
Yes, yes.
And so we all
Everybody's got one.
have those.
Even the actresses, think about how
Oh yeah.
Hollywood, like I think about Halle Berry and how incredible, she's an incredible actress. And,
Hmm.
I felt like when she played Dorothy Dandridge, that was such a great job. And
She
look
did. Yeah, she did.
what she had to do to get, what was it,
The
the
Oscar.
what was
Oh
it,
yeah, the oh,
Monsters
I forgot the name of that movie, but that
Monsters
was with Billy Bob Thornton.
yeah, Monsters Ball. And
Monsters Ball, right?
yeah, and she had to basically bare her skin
Mm-hmm.
to, and I'm thinking, I hate that movie. I hate it.
Mm.
And plus I didn't want to know that much about her. But I felt like Dorothy Dandridge was so much worthy. I think about Denzel, you know, look at, he had to play this horrible person in, what was
To
it,
get the
Training Day.
best actor.
Ye-
Training Day. Yeah.
Yes, instead of Glory. Glory
Hmm.
was, he was, you know what I mean? So
Unfortunately, yes.
disrespect. And
Hmm.
so, but that's just the way it is. And we just have to know what it is we're going to do, what we're not going to do. I am not going to sell my soul. I'm not, for an
Yeah,
award.
that's the line people have to figure
Yeah,
out
I'm not going.
where their line is.
Yeah, I'm not. My line is where it is, and I don't judge anybody. You do what you do. What if you can live with your choices? Hey, God bless you. But for Jackie, I know what I will do and what I won't do, and I'm not going to change that. Because I
Mhm.
used to tell people if I wrote porn, I could probably make millions. But I'm not going to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not me.
Hmm.
It's not me. I don't read it, and so I don't want to write it. Um, those that do and can and make money, God bless you.
Hmm.
I can't do it. And I'm
Yeah,
not.
not everything is for everybody. So,
No, and I've learned that. I think, and that's another thing I would tell writers: know who you are, and be willing to stand up for what you believe in. And so I know what I stand for, and I honor that. I am billed as a Christian author. Um, if I would do more secular type stuff, I would probably, you know, be very, 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 very successful. But I am content with where I am and the type of writing that I do. My books are profanity free, and there's no graphic sex. And I'm not going to do that. And so my books may not appeal to a lot of people. My books are not preachy either, but they won't appeal. They're only going to appeal to a certain crowd. And I'm okay with that.
every book isn't for everybody either. So,
Right. So you have to just really be okay. I write from the heart. I don't write for the market.
mhm.
And so there are writers that write for the market. So they're going to write whatever's selling. And then there are those that write from the heart. To me, heart beats talent any day of the week. You can be a incredible writer, but if you have no heart in that book, it's not going anywhere. But when you put,
Sometimes I think I'm sorry, go ahead.
go ahead, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say sometimes I've read some books. This was gnats in front of me, and I've read some books, and I don't know if I had reader's fatigue because I'd gone from reading sprint and I just needed a break, or at that time that I read the book, it just felt the energy from the book just didn't feel right. Like the writer may have been going through something, or just might have been detached in some way.
Hmm.
So,
Because people, you know, um, I started off in romance, and I remember having a friend who hated romance. But because at that time, a lot of Black authors were being published in romance, she was trying to submit to romance, even though she hated it. And of course, she didn't get published because, and I told her, I said, and she's a good writer, and that was her thing. And she even, it is interesting because she even was like, well, I feel like I'm a better writer than you. So I don't know why they're not buying me. And I'm like, well, probably
hmm.
because you play romance and it comes across the right, because you cannot fool romance readers. There's a certain tone, there's a certain rhythm, there's a certain formula. and she just did not want to do that. So she thought by
Mm-hmm.
putting a lot of sex and whatever in there that it should qualify as romance, and so she never did. As a matter of fact, she never published.
Hmm.
And I don't know
Well,
where she
yeah.
did because she kind of stopped talking to me. But
Well, well, yeah, they can. I think it's kind of like going to a Broadway play. And I was watching one movie. I think it starred Latoya Luckett, who used to be on with Destiny's Child, and she was. I think Tank was in the movie, and there was another lady in it, and she was a star of the show. This other lady, but I think Latoya Luckett had to be her understudy, and the star told Latoya, you don't sing the songs the same way in each performance because the audience isn't sophisticated, but they can smell a lie.
mhm.
And so I think what you're saying is the same
It
about
really is.
romance
So,
readers.
that's why I don't try to follow the market. Like right now, everything historical fiction is really hot. So you're seeing a lot of people kind of jump on that bandwagon, and they're trying to write historical fiction. I'm happy in a way because a lot of our history has been left out, or
Right.
rewritten, revised. So it's great that more and more people are wanting to shed a light on our history. I just pray that they do a great job and that they really love it, because you really have to love history, because you have to go through mounds and mounds of research. You have to know how to
Hmm.
do that. You have to vet your resources, because you're going to have historical experts saying, hey, this did not happen, or this may not happen, or challenge. They may try to challenge you, so you have to be able to cite your information, your
Hmm.
resources, and defend your work. And so I love history, but and I actually have a historical that I wrote years ago, but I won't do anything with it because
Hmm.
it's just not where I am.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, which is not what your heart,
No, it's
what's in your heart to do.
It's not. So
Sure.
I'm just not jumping on that bandwagon, but I think
Hmm.
it's great. I know that there are going to be some great stories coming out. And I really just pray that these authors have done it justice, you know,
Hmm.
because writing historical fiction isn't as easy as it may sound.
Oh no, reading it was. I mean, I enjoyed like historical romance when I used to read it, but that was a lot just to read it because of all the detail that had to go into it, and you have to go from clothing to music to social etiquette to so
The way they talk, all of
right.
that, because for me, I watch a lot of historical films, and even in watching the films, I can tell there was one. And the character said something, and I told Bernard, mm. I said they wouldn't have said that back then. Mm.
Mm.
It was a modern phrase, and I was like, no, they did not. Like, oh my gosh,
That's Hollywood.
you see what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
it took me out. So at that point, I kind of stopped watching and was like, now I'm taking notes to see,
Mm.
because I thought, I even went back to say, well, is this a comedy or a spoof or something, because I'm like,
Right.
they did not say that back then, you know? They
Yeah.
didn't say that back then. And so I'm going through my little research, but so it's not something I would take on right now. Like even with the suspense, I love the suspense. I do. And I want to perfect it. I want to perfect it. And there's a lot of research, that goes into that and everything. So I try to stay on top of that. But I try to take, when I did YA, I had to go into research mode to research and read different YA books. So for me, I am a researcher, and I'm going to check all my boxes before I attempt to do something like that. So I don't just hop on the next bandwagon. I'm not going to do that. It's just too much
Mhm.
for me.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to do what's in. I won't say what's in your comfort zone, but like you said, have all your boxes checked. So.
Mhm.
I'm going to switch gears from writing and I'm going to ask you some questions that don't have anything to do with writing. That's what I do with my guests. So, so what do the pink lipsticks have to do with anything?
That was long, long, long time ago when I lived in Philadelphia, and this little girl gang.
Hmm.
We weren't like the gangs today. We
Hmm.
probably wouldn't have lasted, you know,
Oh.
with the gangs of today, because all we did was, talk about you and sit out on the stoop. And if you crossed over to our side, you had to pay tribute, and it was a quarter.
Oh goodness.
And we had the deli on our side, and across the street was the grocer. So then when we went across the street, so basically all we did was exchange quarters back and forth.
Mm.
We had to pay them tribute when we went over there,
Oh.
because you had to go to the grocery store.
Yeah, eventually. Yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody's got to eat.
and then you had to go to the deli. You want a sandwich, you want a hoagie. So,
Mhm.
you want to, cheesesteak, you got to come over. And so we just exchanged quarters all day long.
Well, yeah, well, at least, no violence,
No, we had
just
our
exchanging
little
money.
jackets with our little pink, we were cute.
Mm.
Yeah, we were cute. But yeah,
Well, I've never been part of a gang of any kind, so that's a harmless gang there.
yeah, yeah, you could
Yeah.
have been a part of ours, because all we had to do was
Okay.
talk and take quarters. That's all.
Okay, so who would you want to play the hero and heroine in Cold Case Deceit, if you have any
I don't
ideas?
have anybody. I have no idea. I was trying to think. My inspiration. Who were my inspiration for the series, and I can't even remember. That's a shame. I think because I've been working on Cold Case Betrayal, so they're pretty much in my mind. And
Hmm.
for Cold Case Betrayal, which comes out in March of next year, my inspiration was she's on Harlem, and she's married. She was on Empire. I can't think of her name right now, but she's married to, is it Troy?
Oh, the one who played Boo Boo Kitty.
Ye- Yeah. So
Grace Byers, I think that's her name.
yes, Grace Byers and her
Hmm.
husband. So they're my inspiration for Cold Case Betrayal. Um,
Okay. Oh,
but
okay.
for Cold Case Deceit, I'm trying to think of. I can't think of who my inspiration was. That's a shame. Um,
Hmm. Maybe
actually,
it'll come to you later.
actually, I want to say I think it might have been Vanessa Bell Calloway for my.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she was the one. Yeah, I think she was my inspiration for Philippa. For Kyle, I can't remember. I can't
Mhm.
remember. He was somebody with hazel.
Okay, so
I do know he had hazel eyes.
oh,
I think he was a model.
okay.
I don't
Hmm.
know that he does any acting. He's a model, but I think he would sure look good as my character. So I have to look him up. I have
uh,
to look him up. But yeah. So I would love to see one of my cold cases come to life on screen, but we'll just see.
mhm. Me too. I like that. Okay, so who would you want to play you in the life of a movie about your life?
I think me. No actress. I've lived it. I don't think anybody could play me. Um,
Mm,
I don't know. I don't know.
mhm.
Hmm.
There's some head scratchers. Okay.
Yeah. I really don't know, because I'm trying to think. It would have to be someone older. Of course, they like to go younger,
Of
but
course.
you know, and I guess starting out, but I know who I don't want, but I won't say her name because she was in the movie, but I don't want her. I can tell you
Okay.
that. Don't want her anywhere near it.
Mhm.
But I don't know.
Okay. And my last question, what is your definition of a fulfilled life?
Family, good friends,
Hmm.
you know, after losing my daughter, that was my biggest fear. And I had to, I lived through that. So family is extremely important to me. My faith and because that's what got me through was my faith, my relationship with God. Um, and just good friends. If you have one good friend, you are wealthy, you are rich. If you have one good friend. So I've met and come into contact with some phenomenal people. You, Deborah Mello, you know, um, you know, so many people. Because if I start naming, then I forget, and somebody sees this, like, yeah. So many people um, have blessed my life, you know, and I could
Well,
not
we feel blessed to have you in our life, so
but
we appreciate you.
thank you. But yeah, I don't ask for anything more.
Well, you can't end an interview better than that. I mean, well, I thank you for taking time out of your schedule. I know you're busy to chat with me and help me out on my channel. And thank you, everybody, if you were able to watch this live. If not, it will be recorded on YouTube. It should be, and you can watch it then. And if you like it, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel.
Yes, please
And
subscribe because Dana, please subscribe because then you hold Dana accountable. She is doing a great job, and we want to continue to push her out of her comfort zone. So please hit a thumbs up and please subscribe. Thank you.
thank you. All right. Well, you hold on, Jackie, and everybody. Thank you for joining me if you were able to. And you have a good night.